New developments in the battle over Utah's district maps as the push to repeal Proposition 4 meets a critical deadline. Plus, tense moments in Davis County. What happened as a small plane was forced to make an emergency landing on Legacy Highway? And a huge accomplishment for one local athlete, how Clearfield High School is celebrating a new all-time leading scorer.
Live and streaming, this is KSL News Now.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us for KSL News Now on this Monday. It is President's Day. I'm Lori Pritchard. Brett Benson is here with us this morning talking about a storm that is headed our direction.
A bunch of them. Yeah, we actually have a couple. Yeah, a couple of them headed our way. It's going to put feet of snow in the mountains. I mean, it's really going to make a big difference compared to what we've had so far this season. Now, today, the storm is still approaching, so we're going to have some, if you've lived here for any amount of time, you know what tends to happen before winter storms move in. We get the windy conditions, the warm conditions. That's what we're expecting today. Temps outside right now are 46 degrees. You can see winds out of the south at 10 miles per hour. They're going to get stronger than that as the day moves along, especially towards western Utah, where we do have a wind advisory that's in effect. That's this area right here. We also have winter storm warning that will be going into effect for northern Utah and southern Utah mountains, and a winter weather advisory for the central Utah mountains. But you can see all of the mountains in Utah, they've got color on them. We're going to see widespread snow with this system as it rolls through, and it really gets started later on tonight. Okay, there's a look at it. You can see we have Sierra Nevadas are already getting quite a bit of snow. We have low pressure here. This will continue to sink and then move into the state. It will move from the south to the north. So we'll start seeing precipitation in southwest Utah first, and then it will work its way north. We'll see a better chance of precipitation developing along the Wasatch Front as we get into the evening hours and into tomorrow morning. So today, 60 in Salt Lake. You can see the farther west you are, the sooner that precipitation starts. And again, we'll see some showers rolling in St. George about evening drive time, a little bit later than that along the Wasatch Front.
All right, Brett, thank you. The fight over Proposition 4 now entering its next phase. A repeal effort delivered thousands of signatures, and now state officials will determine whether the issue goes before voters. News specialist Tyrese Boone is live with where things stand so far this morning. Tyrese.
Good morning, Lori. Those signatures are now in the hands of county clerks. Now it's their job to verify if enough of them are valid. Now, the boxes of petitions were delivered to the Salt Lake City's county clerk's office just before the deadline. The Republican-backed group behind the effort says it collected more than 200,000 signatures to repeal Proposition 4, which is the 2018 voter-approved law that created an independent redistricting commission aimed at limiting gerrymandering. The campaign has also faced criticism, with some voters claiming they were misled about what they were signing.
We have seen an uptick in people requesting to have their signature removed.
Now, clerks have 21 days to review each signature. Organizers must meet ballot initiative requirements for 26 of Utah's 29 Senate districts for their efforts to succeed. If enough are verified, voters will decide in November whether if Proposition 4 stays or is repealed. Anyone who has signed has 45 days to remove their name. We'd like to know, as of Friday, this effort has nearly had 89,000 verified signatures. So if organizers are right, they doubled the amount of signatures that they had right before the deadline was ended. Reporting live from Salt Lake County, Tyrese Boone, KSL 5 News. Back to you, Lori.
Okay, it'll be interesting to see in the next few days how they validate those signatures and whether they do have enough. Tyrese, thank you. This morning, we are following two situations involving planes that landed in unusual places. The good news, there were no injuries in either situation. Now, the first is this plane that landed in Davis County on Legacy Highway. Utah Highway Patrol says a plane experienced an engine malfunction on Sunday. This happened just north of 500 South in Bountiful. It closed the right lane for southbound traffic. 4 people were on board that plane when it landed, and again, no one was hurt. Now to Tooele County, where a plane crash landed and became stuck on the Salt Flats. According to the Tooele County Sheriff's Office, the pilot made a maneuver that caused him to lose thrust and speed. It caused the plane to take a nosedive to the ground and then skid about 50 feet. 2 people were on board, and the sheriff says about 5 gallons of fuel spilled. But again, no one hurt in that crash. This morning, we're learning more about a deadly rollover crash that happened in Salt Lake City. The crash claiming the life of a sergeant with the Utah Department of Corrections. It happened near 700 North and 80th West, just around 7 o'clock Sunday morning. According to police, the victim was ejected from his vehicle when it rolled off the road and into a field. No other cars were involved. Investigators are still working to determine a cause. The victim has been identified as 62-year-old Robert Hill. Again, he was a sergeant with the Utah Department of Corrections. Sergeant Hill had worked with the department since 1996, serving in various roles, including the maximum security unit at the Draper facility. He most recently served in enforcement at the Utah State Correctional Facility, not far from where that crash happened. In a statement, the DOC called his passing a profound loss, expressing deep sympathies to his loved ones and colleagues. One person was hospitalized after an early morning apartment fire in Salt Lake City. Fire crews were called to the area of 181 East and 1st Avenue around 2:30 a.m. Sunday. The victim was transported in serious condition. The cause of that fire and extent of the damage remain under investigation.
It's been 2 weeks since our mom was taken. We still have hope.
And the investigation into the presumed kidnapping of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie's 84-year-old mother, Nancy, now stretches into its third week. This comes as the FBI says it is analyzing DNA from a glove that appears to match these worn right here by the suspect that was captured on doorbell camera video, which was found near Nancy Guthrie's home.
Glove could be very promising, but we have to caveat that a little bit. Yes, it has male DNA apparently on it, but we don't know if it's the same DNA that's inside that house.
The agency said the glove with the DNA is not the same glove the New York Post reported on last week. The Pima County Sheriff's Department said authorities found DNA at Guthrie's property that did not belong to her or those in close contact to her last week. And they're working to see if the DNA of the new glove is a match. And developing this morning in the case of the Epstein files, the Department of Justice has now released a list of hundreds of names from the files that the department has called politically exposed persons. The 6-page letter has listed the names of presidents, cultural icons, business leaders, and government officials that appear in the files regardless of context. While some of the people on the list have well-documented ties to the convicted sex offender, others are not known to have ever personally interacted with Epstein. California Representative Ro Khanna says the release of these names is, quote, muddying the waters on who was a predator and who is just mentioned in an email. South Carolina's Republican Representative Nancy Mace added that even this list still leaves out certain names. Right now, the government is in a partial shutdown as the Department of Homeland Security ran out of funding over the weekend. Across the country, that's having impact with the TSA this morning. The Salt Lake City International Airport has told KSL that their operations have not been impacted by the shutdown so far. We've not heard from the Utah TSA yet on if they're facing any issues related to the shutdown. The airport does, however, advise all passengers to stay in contact with their airlines and check directly with the airlines regarding any possible delays. In northern Utah, a nuclear reactor is making Hill Air Force Base its new home. Utah Governor Spencer Cox was on hand for the delivery and says today marks a historic milestone for American energy. That reactor was brought in on 3 C-17s, and according to the governor, this reactor will help Utah double energy production. Senator John Curtis says that this is the first ever nuclear reactor to be transported by a C-17.
It's our privilege as a family to accept this award for Lavelle and to accept it in his name, but in the name of all the players who played for him and who made him successful.
This morning, we're taking a moment to remember Patty Edwards, the wife of legendary BYU football coach Lavelle Edwards. Many remember her as the matriarch of Cougar football. Former BYU football player Tom Holmoe, coached by Lavelle Edwards, says Patty left a legacy of her own.
Last 9-10 years, Patty has been the epitome of courage and resiliency and energy and love. And she lived her life 10 years after Lavelle passed to the fullest.
Funeral arrangements are scheduled for February 21st at 10:45 a.m. It will be live streamed. We'll have more information on KSLTV.com. All right, let's take a Look from the top of KSL Broadcast House to downtown Salt Lake City right now, waking up on this President's Day. It's 10 minutes past 7 o'clock. Let's get to Brett Benson. We've enjoyed gorgeous temperatures these last few days, but things will be changing.
Things will be changing, yeah. You know, it's going to be pretty warm out there again today. We'll see temperatures flirting with the 60s here along the Wasatch Front once again, because we do have, you can see low pressure out in the Pacific. You can see a lot of precipitation already in California associated with that. But as the system approaches, you can see you get this, the winds out of the south-southwest. It tends to warm us up. So we'll call it mostly to partly cloudy skies. We'll see some increasing clouds as the day moves along, as this storm gets a little bit closer. But mostly what you'll notice will be the breezy conditions and, again, quite warm temperatures once again. All right, so we'll look for those clouds to be moving in. Temperatures outside right now, 46 in Salt Lake, 44 in St. George. And again, you can see the precipitation that's already pushing into the Sierra Nevadas and a heavy rainfall that stretches all the way down to LA. Okay, so what we're looking for is this system will be moving in as we head into the evening hours tonight. Now, in southwest Utah, western Utah, eastern Nevada, that's where you're going to see your best chance of precipitation earlier in the evening. Along the Wasatch Front, we'll get some spotty showers, certainly, but it's more later on tonight that we get a better dose of precipitation along the Wasatch Front. Valley rain, mountain snow. Now on Tuesday, we'll have valley rain, mountain snow in the morning, and then snow levels will be dropping during the day. It'll be an off and on showers on Tuesday. But we'll redevelop some precipitation on Tuesday, and then you get into Wednesday. And you can see by Wednesday morning, widespread precipitation across the state, snow down to the valley floors, accumulating snow in many valley locations. So that's going to be a big storm. And after that one leaves, we actually have a couple other smaller systems that could graze by and kick off a few more snow showers. So it's going to be a busy week in the weather department. 51 today in Price, 58 in Milford. 66 in St. George, right around 50 in Loa, and 60 in Moab for an afternoon high. 7-day forecast looks like this. We do cool it down. Temperatures in the upper 40s by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you can see the stormy weather that moves in over the next few days in southwest Utah. For northern Utah, we'll see temperatures in the mid to upper 50s for many of us for afternoon highs. A little bit cooler than that in Montpelier. 58 in Ogden, 60 in Salt Lake, and about the same in Sandy for an afternoon high. All right, the system, as I mentioned, kind of moves in later on in the overnight hours tonight. We have the precipitation tomorrow off and on, but snow levels dropping during the afternoon and evening. And then the snow levels do get to the valley floors on Wednesday, and you can see our temperatures cooler. 37 for a high on Thursday and Friday, right there in the upper 30s as well. And again, that chance of a few more showers rolling through. Right now, looks like it'll dry out and some more sunshine for the weekend.
All right, Brett, thank you. Finally, this President's Day, we're looking out for the good this morning. Clearfield High School celebrating a student athlete for becoming the program's all-time leading scorer. Junior Jack Galvin has scored 376 career points. He broke the previous record of 369 points last week on Friday during Clearfield's game against Fremont High School. The last person to set that record for the school was Cameron Evans during the 2007-2008 season. Congratulations. Thanks so much for joining us right here for this segment of KSL News Now. We leave you once again with a look of Salt Lake City waking up on this President's Day. Have a great day, everyone.